TIE organization for about 5 years or so, at least. So it's always an honor to be with you, because I know this is an organization that gets things done, and you should be so proud. And let's congratulate Rupesh on so many years of leading this organization. Thank you so much for your one of the things I thought I'd share with you to start with, and then I want to talk about entrepreneurship in the whole state of Michigan, is I'm a proud entrepreneur myself. I've started companies, and I know how hard it is. It's one of the most challenging things and rewarding things in someone's life. So one of the things I've tried to do is actually bring entrepreneurship to the public sector. It is possible. And one of the key things to do that is changing the mindset about how our government works. Because one of the things I found when I became governor is too much of government was simply about taking money from someone and giving it to someone else. And that's wrong. A lot of it was stepping back to say, what's the vision for what government should be? And the vision I have is we're here to serve you. That's why we exist, is to give our customers, the citizens, great service, efficient, effective, and accountable government. And so as an entrepreneur, you have to have a vision. You have to have a set of values, and the values I live by is relentless positive action. Being very positive, not blaming or fighting with anyone, but staying focused on solving problems. And then a great entrepreneur stays focused on what's important. And that ties back into that last point. Fighting with people or blaming anyone doesn't solve any issue. I've tried to stay focused on what's the next problem, and be relentless in the pursuit of solutions, and it works. So it's great to see the principles that you're applying every day can apply to any part of your life. And I think we have a large long-term opportunity by actually saying entrepreneurship is something that belongs more in the public sector. And that's a discussion that we should have. But beyond that, we're really seeing the results in the state of Michigan. If you go back to 2009, we had the highest unemployment in the country. We had the largest drop in per capita income, personal income. Home values were plummeting. We were the only state that lost population. Where are we today, after just a few years? We've created nearly 300,000 private sector jobs. #1 in manufacturing jobs, #4 in high-paying jobs. In terms of home values, just a couple weeks ago, a study came out that showed that we had the largest increase in home values in the United States was right here in Michigan. Income levels are coming back, although we still have people struggling, and we need to stay focused on solving that. And our population is growing again. The part of the population in particular that's important is keeping our young people here. And it's great to have some young people here. And we are starting to turn that around where we're seeing people stay, and we're actually seeing some come back, which is truly exciting. That was one of the things that drove me to run for governor. Sue and I, we have 3 wonderful college age or just out of college kids. We want to have a future in Michigan. So it's, with all this progress though, there's more to be done. And how do you grow an economy? Well, it starts with entrepreneurship. And that's why TIE is so important. You're at the forefront of doing that. And the issue is, how do you create an environment for entrepreneurship? And I appreciate Rupesh's comments. We've come a long way. Back in 2008, there was one study that showed our entrepreneurial climate in Michigan. We were ranked 41st in 2008. In 2013, we were ranked #6. And I appreciate his comment, we're going to end up being #1. That's the direction we're heading. How do you do entrepreneurship, though, in terms of creating a climate? And this goes long before I was governor. I came up with my own analysis, and I've been living that. That was one of the things I got involved with people like Bouchon when we created Ann Arbor Spark back in the early 2000s, is 5 factors. The first one is you got to have talent. You got to have the people that have that inclination to go out and do this, and the skill sets to do it. And the good part is, in this state, we have a lot of one. Have to be someone that knows how to manage risk. Because you never accomplish anything special if it's easy, or if it's just laying there. Somebody else would have already done it. So you have to learn that attitude to say, how do I take on the appropriate risk to be successful? And if I don't succeed the first time, how do I come back and do it again? Or understand how I can take those learnings and apply it to the next time so I can be successful. Because again, you never want to encourage failure. But the lesson I always remind people, it was the 3rd Ford Motor Company that succeeded. The first 2 failed. So a lot of it is looking at the combination of all those features. Now the 2 or 3 things I'd ask of you, because again, I view you as a group that's a partner with me. A couple things we need to do. One is we have to market how entrepreneurial our state is better. We need to get word out about how we do entrepreneurship in Michigan. And we're seeing strong clusters really developing. If you go in Detroit, the Madison building area, that's full of entrepreneurship. If you go to Grand Rapids, Start Garden, they're doing some great things. In addition to Ann Arbor's got a long history. So we need to do a much better job of telling our story. Michiganders in general are very good at being innovative, at being creative, at doing great products. We kind of stink at marketing, folks. And that's something we need to turn around. We need to be louder and prouder about who we are, what we're doing, and we need to spread that word. I'll give you an easy illustration. The autonomous and connected vehicles. If I talk to you about autonomous cars, and if I went around this room, or I go out in the public and say, who's leading in autonomous cars? The most common answer I bet I would get would be Google. That's not true at all. The leader in autonomous vehicles is right here in Michigan. It's a whole series of companies. What they're investing in doing with autonomous vehicles dwarfs what Google's doing. But how many people know that? That's the kind of message we need to get out. We've started doing that more aggressively. We just held the ITS, the Intelligent Transport System World Congress here in Detroit, where we had 10,000 people from 60 countries seeing how we're the leader in that field. We need to do more of that. The second thing we need to do is better measurement. Again, who knows who our serial CEOs are? Who knows how many startups we're doing? Who knows how well we're succeeding? How many jobs you've created? And again, this organization keeps track of many good things. But we need to do this statewide, and I could use your partnership in getting that word out to say, how do we measure things better? Because the reason to measure things isn't to talk about failure, it's to measure success. Let's do that together. And the other one comes back to how I talked about FIRST Robotics, the last one. I don't have a great word for it yet, but it's almost how do you help nurture future entrepreneurs? Things like FIRST Robotics do that. Other programs, back into the high schools, even before. Because think about that. What really got you going to be an entrepreneur? Was it because you had a parent or family member that did it? That when you were young, you sort of saw what they did? Did you come up with some idea that some teacher supported or someone supported you in saying, why don't you take that to the next level? I bet most of you started becoming entrepreneurs before you ever became an entrepreneur. You were doing this earlier in your life. And so how do we nurture that? And how do we create that pipeline of people that are going to continue on that path and make that pipeline grow? So those are three things in particular I'd ask you to consider as you go through this conference today and as you come out of it. Here are huge opportunities. Because one thing I know about great entrepreneurs, we like to pass it on. It's great to be in an area where you can be proud of what you're doing, but you actually like to help other people. And you should be proud of it. So I appreciate the opportunity to come share some thoughts with you. Your organization is leading edge. Again, I need you to market yourself better, to be louder and prouder. We need to work on measurement. We need to work on nurturing a future pipeline. But together, Michigan is the comeback state. We're come back more than any other state during the Great Recession. And you are the key. Entrepreneurship is one of the true keys to accelerate that. And that's what I'm excited about. And the key on our behalf is to show we have so much talent they want to locate here. That goes back to when I was helping start Ann Arbor Spark. I wrote their business plan. And I actually put in there a talent position, essentially a talent VP that was like a community headhunter. And I was roundly criticized by economic development people around the country. They told me I was nuts. Why would you do that? Because this is a great example of innovation. So they told me I was crazy because they said, by putting that position in, all you're going to do is highlight you have great talent that is going to get hired away. So in fact, what you've done is create a position that's going to cause you to lose your most talented people. I said, I don't believe that. So we went ahead and did it. So what happened? If you go to the Ann Arbor area and ask them, what's been the largest single developer of attracting new business to the area? It's our talent. Because they'd come here, they'd start interviewing people and say, you don't have just one person, you have 5 people, you have 10 people, you have 20 people that get us really excited. We need to open an office here now. And that's what we're starting to see in Detroit because of the concentration of young professionals. So this is the thing about change the question and say, how do we actually make sure people know the most talented people with the right skills are right here?
and acquisitions work, and I've seen so many, it seems to me, so many Michigan companies bought by others instead of being acquirers. And I'm wondering if there is a program in the state, or if there could be a program in the state to promote Michigan-based companies acquiring other companies and growing, rather than seeing that go to other parent organizations.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. There's actually a lot of Michigan companies acquiring companies. That is quite active, but it goes both ways. One thing I'll tell you is one of the roles of government is not to do everything for everybody. So I appreciate your comment, but government shouldn't interfere in free enterprise. So my view is our role is to create an environment for success that encourages free enterprise. And again, as you see it, we have a lot of Michigan companies acquiring other companies, so it's going both directions, but that's not a great role for government to be involved in. We're not good at picking winners or losers or doing things like that. What we should stay focused in on is how do we create the best environment for talent for those 5 areas to really let that happen and let you guys go out and run great businesses and be successful. Sure.
Hello, Governor. I'm Dr. Tony Ingram. I'm the COO of Harmony Point Computer Training Center and Technology Company located in Chrysler House, downtown Detroit. We provide training for urban residents and certification of the 74,000 unfilled jobs in Michigan. What resources exist that could assist us in partnering with other employers in Michigan, what we come today?
I'm sorry, in terms
what
of...
resources exist that could you recommend for us to engage in meeting investors and partners and moving our cause forward to certify urban residents to help fill the 74,000 unfilled jobs in Michigan?
Sure, in terms of urban residents and working on that, we have 2 or 3 programs. We have Community Ventures, which is getting